The social media app, wildly popular with Americans. But as Richard Madden tells us from Washington, this new law could prove to be a political time bomb for Biden and his administration.
Is TikTok a weapon of war? A psyop cooked up by the Chinese government to brainwash American youth?
Another big story tonight. What next for TikTok? Is it really going to be banned here in the United States?
One might have thought this was the case when President of the USA Joe Biden signed a law in April 2024, demanding its Chinese majority owners sell off its majority share in 9 months or have the site blocked.
Now, the US Senate has overwhelmingly passed a bill ordering TikTok's Chinese owners to sell the app within months or see it banned in the United States.
Many thought the claim that the site was stealing data was a ruse, for the real fear that it was being used to influence young people to join protests and oppose things the US government would rather they didn't. But oddly enough, another country has decided that TikTok may just be a weapon they want controlled, and that's France, stopping the revolutionary clock by banning TikTok. The banning of the app is part of a state of emergency which includes the deployment of the army and a curfew on the French overseas territory of New Caledonia, a remote island near Papua New Guinea.
There's trouble in French paradise. I'm talking about New Caledonia. It's an island in the South Pacific, but it's ruled by France. And right now, the whole place is a battlefield.
Earlier this week, violent protests broke out after a law was passed in France, allowing anyone who had lived on the island for at least 10 years full voting rights and making the locals feel they were being sidelined. A law that takes away their right to watch reaction videos, dance trends with the latest filters, but doesn't affect citizens of the actual mother country of France may make them feel they have a point. France gets tough on those who revolt. The announcement was made by France's Prime Minister Gabriel Attal, who said the popular video sharing app will be shut down as well as deploying a large military force. A lot of effort for a small island with a population of around 270,000, but France may still be sore after being asked to leave Niger amongst other African countries. Countries that seem to be cozying up to both China and Islamic movements. Perhaps the French government believe if they'd banned TikTok in these overseas territories, they'd still be there. In July 2023, French President Macron floated the idea of shutting down platforms like Snapchat and TikTok to help quash the violent protests plaguing metropolitan areas of France. Although violent French protests have existed long before electricity, never mind the internet. And Macron may be happier with the angry citizens using smartphones, not guillotines. The idea caused widespread outrage, with free speech advocates and civil rights organizations drawing comparisons to despotic regimes such as Myanmar, Iran, and yes, the People's Republic of China. Ironic that a communication app that is causing unease across the world with its ability to stir up unrest is the creation of one of the most controlled media states in the world. But with more and more protest camps spreading across the USA and Europe for issues as diverse as Gaza, environment extinction, it's starting to feel perhaps that freedom of speech is the supposed liberal West's Achilles heel, and social media, especially TikTok, is the arrow aimed at it. Can you put the genie back in the social media bottle? Perhaps a massive banning of all social media to prevent riots in France itself was draconian. But will the world be watching the actions on a small island to see if cutting off the oxygen of social media can put out a firestorm more readily than riot police and tear gas? And if this works, will it be handing more power to the governments of the world that copy this action? Will social media be licensed finally and no longer get to police itself? This is one of a number of legislative tools being used more and more around the globe to halt the use of social media to cause disruption or criminality. But who watches the watchmen? Will governments with the ability to be in charge of the news cycle and public opinion again really let those powers go? What do you think? Let us know below. Whilst you still can and watch another one of our videos. See you.